guys, this is 1584 Adventure. We're going to do a walk-in duck hunting tip video. So last video, I just basically went over everything that I carried out on my previous hunt. This video, I'm going to go over some things that I could do different that would help me maybe have a more successful hunt. So one thing I did on this hunt that I didn't do previously is I made a blind at the house. I bought a sheet of burlap that's about 12 bucks, and I bought some green garden stakes that are about 5 foot tall. The water I'm hunting in, the place where I sit, is about 6 inches. So basically took 4 of those garden stakes and zip tied them to the burlap about equal intervals, and I have a blind that goes around me. Not super high tech. It did save me money because I can't find an appropriate size blind for this, but it helped me hide better. Right now the birds are kind of skittish, so you gotta be kind of careful and be well hidden, and I was. But I think what killed me is decoys that I brought. So I did leave my blind out in the field. I don't have it with me, unfortunately. I leave it out there just to save on weight, and it's pretty well hidden. Unless you literally walk up on it, you can't find it. So we're going to go over some tips that I need to do for my next hunt to be more successful. First tip, I'm going to swap out my decoys with different decoys. So I took out 4 of my Herder's actually these are amphibiduck. Oh, I thought these were plastic. Whatever. Took out 4 of these Herder's plastic duck. They're painted in a mallard color scheme. You saw me paint them in my previous videos, and I love the way they look. They float excellent. They're not loud like some of the other plastic decoys we have, but I think right now I need more decoys. I need a larger spread. Maybe not at the level Dad and I have been putting out. We've been putting out about 57 duck decoys. So I think I need between a dozen and a dozen and a half duck decoys to get the birds down from the sky. So I have 2 options to do. I can go old school. This is a Victor, let me read this before I tell you what it is. The Victor D9 decoy. I think this is 50, no it ain't 50s. This should be late 60s, early 70s. I have, I think about 7 or 9 of these, one of the 2. Not including this one. This one has a crack in the bottom, so I can't really use it. It sinks. They're small. Just compare the 2. I mean, hell, this is almost a teal decoy size, and that's the point. It's a little lighter than the amphibiduck, just on pure weight. Because this is so old, the plastic's real thick, so it is heavier than modern day plastic. But I have half a dozen of these. Let's just say half a dozen. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I have 6 at least. So I can take these. I have some other small vintage decoys I'd love to take with me, and I'd love to have a successful hunt over. But I can also just take my teal decoys. My teal decoys are real light. The heaviest part of them are the weights, which is true for everything. I think most of mine have 8-ounce weights on them. Most of these have 8-ounce weights, but I can tell you the teal decoy is way lighter than this. Comparable size, but I like some variety. So what I might do, so I can carry a bunch of teal decoys for the same weight as 6 of these. I can carry a dozen teal decoys, excluding the weight on them. I'm going to exclude that just on both of them because that really just depends. I generally go heavier with my super magnum decoys just because I don't want them floating off. So I have about a dozen and a half. I think I have right out a dozen and a half teal decoys that are mine. My dad has a dozen. So we have just, no, he has half a dozen. So we have just about 2 dozen decoys. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's say, a dozen teal decoys, and I'll take, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these, just so I have some mallards out there, just so I have some variety in my decoy spread. I think that will be pretty good. So it's all about weight, the weight that you can carry in and carry out, and carrying out is the worst one. So I think that I'm doing about 50-60 pounds for carry weight, and that's with, I carry my waders in with me because I walk over land a lot. In fact, I won't get in the water until I'm throwing my decoys out, and it's just about a mile for a walk in, and then it's a mile walk out. So my waders are pretty heavy with the boots on them. All waders are heavy, so it's not a big deal. Like yesterday I wore my tennis shoes. I won't be doing that because they weren't waterproof on top. So you got to think about that too. What are you going to wear walking in? So earlier in teal season I met a couple guys hunting this place, and teal season in Texas can get up to about 80-90 degrees. First time these guys have hunted this place, and they claim they walked to the mouth of the river. That's about 5 miles away. They didn't do that because by the time I was walking back, they basically would have had to walk out there, shoot once, turn around and walk back. One of them was down to their underwear inside their neoprene waders, and he was overheating, and he chugged like a gallon of water as soon as he got back to the field. I'm like, y'all guys need to learn how to wear rubber boots to walk out. And they looked at it, and a light bulb went off in their head like, oh damn, we do. The next time I saw them, they were doing that. Does mean that you might need to be there about 5 minutes earlier. So not a problem there. So let's go over some other options I have for decoys. I know I kind of got off topic there, but one option I have are these FUDs. Now, I love FUDs. FUDs stands for fold up decoys. The idea's been around forever. I think there's I've seen some on eBay. They're like from the 40s and 50s. And I'll show you. Folds up like that, and if you're using it as a floater, you do that. This is a weighted stake. It's basically steel, and it will float in the water like that. They float very, very well, and I have spent 20 minutes, probably closer to 5, with a gun ready because I thought one of these was a duck. So they float really well. You should still put an anchor on them, but in the right wind you don't have to. One thing we use them for, we use them like silhouettes. We stick them in the mud pretty close to the shore or wherever they really do, where there's shallow enough water, and they work great. Unfortunately, all my FUDs got them 05, 06, so they're old, they're beat up, some of them are broken, so I need to buy some new ones. The company who made these is out of business. Blackwater Decoy Company. So, and it's basically got some EVA foam on the inside that's glued to this outer shell. These are really great. They're kind of light, but the main thing is they take up no room at all. You can pack in, for the amount of room that takes up for these 4 herder decoys here, I can put 2 dozen FUDs in the same space. So they're excellent. I'd love to get some more. Right now they're kind of just travel decoys. So now another option would be silhouettes. Kind of obvious. I don't have any duck decoy silhouettes, but I'm probably going to get some after the first of the year. I'm kind of waiting for Christmas because I asked for them, but I'd be interested in getting those. So these are some goose. These are big owls. We have used these for goose season. Had some mild luck on that. But they're lightweight. These are the lightest decoys out here. They take up so little room. Only problem is just because of how long they are in one direction, you might want to get a silhouette bag to carry it. But I have thrown them inside the decoy bag and like do 4 full body Magnum mallards, throw them in, and then I'll squish in 6 or 7 silhouettes. Very easily done. As I said in my other video, I have some fatal flashers. I kind of like them. I like the way they look, they act. Need to let them dry out. So that's kind of it for the decoys I have. We had some inflatable decoys. I don't like the concept would work. Other than you're out there, if you don't bring a compressor to air them up, you're out there huffing and puffing, filling them up. I don't like that idea. It doesn't fit for me. It might work for y'all, but it doesn't fit for me. So that's the only tip I have on decoys. We're going to end this video. I'm going to do another video on some other ideas I have, other tips that help me have successful hunts. So if you could like and subscribe, go on to my Patreon if you could, subscribe to that as well. I will be probably lowering the tier level, not level, tier amount, I guess, a subscription amount. There we go. Right now it's $5. I'm going to lower it to as low as I can go. You'll get extra videos. You'll get more in-depth videos, funny videos. We are going to start a podcast. That's one of the things I'm working on right now. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. First 2 episodes. First episode's going to be teal and goose season with my dad. We're going to go over that, and then second episode will be going over our tuna trip that we went on. We did a horrible job of videoing the tuna trip, unfortunately. That's on us. We got so into the moment that we forgot all about actually videoing our adventure. So I'm sorry about that. I wish I had a really good video to show you, but I don't. So we're going to end this video here, and this is